So when the announcement was made on you guys playing the Uprising, what was the strategy coming into today's game, and what adjustments did you guys have to make mid-game, if any?
So it was like pretty much opposite map pool of what we played in the first 4 games. So there was like generic strategic things that we could apply to both sides, but a lot of the stuff is like what we want to do on our own, kind of agnostic of what the other team does. They don't do anything like super creative or anything. They set up counter dives. They play like a lot of the top teams do, right? So it's nothing really specific. They're just a good team, well coordinated, have good strategy. So we prepped our own. We tried to counter strat a little bit of the first fights and stuff like that, kind of like normal. But since it was like completely different map pool, we didn't have to make huge adjustments. Yeah.
All right, just a quick admin note for the new faces in the room. If you could state your name and your publication that you're with, that way we can get some names and faces. All right.
Hey there, guys. Adam with Akshon Esports. So just to continue on a little bit with what you were saying, can you tell me, as this was your first stage finals, what kind of effect the abrupt change in map pool had on you guys and your ability to prep compared to playing 5 weeks with the other map pool?
So like it's just sometimes like a random issue with how the map pool and how the pre-selected maps work. So we've been practicing like 5 or 6 maps a week, so we tend to ignore the other ones when we do practice. So it was a little bit weird just because we hadn't played like Ilios in a long time. But it's kind of just the nature of the pre-selected map pool. There's just an element of randomness to it. It's something everyone has to deal with. I think Boston similarly had to deal with the problem. So it's just an issue in itself. It's not totally solvable.
Hey, Josh from Blitz Esports. Speaking more on the overall team strategy and improvements regarding your Widow composition. DP, I know you've spoken on Reddit actually about how the entire team has come together, worked really hard to enable Surefour's Widowmaker. But today I want to talk to Surefour specifically. DP's spoken a lot about how you put in a lot of work and just grinded the hell out of your Widowmaker play in order to be able to duel these other top-level Widowmakers. So can you speak on some specifics that you applied to your practice and then some ways that your team has stepped up to help the Widow comps for Gladiators?
Specifically, it's just like playing a lot of Widow headshot only, so you can get used to like being able to aim at other Widows that are hard scoping or the ways they jump and the way they move. And then a lot of other it is just thinking about how the other Widow is going to play with their team. Like Pine plays a really aggressive style and comes at weird angles. Some Widows play a more like hard scopey angle and try and avoid 1v1s. So it's kind of just like changing a play style based on how someone else plays. But at the same time, a lot of it is based on how much team creates pressure for the other Widow and what you're able to do with that kind of pressure. And a lot of the team working around it on Route, for example, is just making sure we have like strong forward hold so they never get to me so I can get those shots that I need to.
A lot of people bring up like Widow headshot only servers when it comes to practice. Do you think that's like this gold standard for getting better at Widow mechanics specifically?
It's mostly only for like other Widows and getting used to shooting that because it doesn't really transition to like other heroes that well. So like after you get warmed up in that, you kind of just like play ranked and then just try and shoot everyone in the head. And then you kind of just focus on your own positioning and making sure you like they have the least amount of like that the max amount of distance to get to you and you have like the most efficiency with your shots.
Makes sense. Thanks.
Hey, Tyler, ESPN. Obviously, we have the second semifinal about to go down. This is for everyone. If you could just go down the line really quick. Who do you think is going to be in the final? Like, what 2 teams with Boston? And who do you think is going to win it all?
NYXL, Boston, and... See, NYXL, Boston is kind of weird. It's like, it's a complete opposite of play styles. I feel like NYXL is like a really chaotic, mechanically prone to win kind of style, and Boston is very meticulous strategy kind of style. So it's kind of like a clash of the styles, and I think it'll definitely be close, but I think NYXL might pull ahead. Anyone else? Because he said down the line.
Oh, no. I agree. New York versus Boston, and New York is going to take it 3-2.
Yeah, New York versus Boston, but I think Boston will win.
New York, Boston, Boston.
New York, Boston. I believe in Boston. New York wins Valiant, and I think New York wins Boston too.
No faith in Valiant.
Hi, I'm Sam from OverwatchScore.com. What do you view as your team's biggest opportunities for improvement in Stage 4?
That's a coach question.
Yeah, so many coach questions. Funny, we were just talking about that. Kind of what we did well at Stage 1, what we need to improve. I think the things that we need to improve are still kind of the same things as last stage, which is consistency and target focus as well as coordination. I think our coordination kind of is wanes on particular moments or particular days, and I think that's something that has like infinite skill cap basically. With the different meta too, it might be simpler or easier because dive obviously is very complicated in terms of putting all your damage in at the same time. Maybe if it goes tankier, it'll be easier to coordinate. But it's something that I think we can infinitely improve on.
Hi guys, Mel from I'll Recap. Do you think that Brigitte will be in the meta next stage, and if so, who's going to play her?
I mean, she'll probably be in the meta. And
do we know what version of Brigitte?
I think it's. I don't know the exact version, but we know she's going to be in. But there's going to be a lot of triple support probably. So one of the DPS is probably going to play Brigitte. So it's either going to be me or it depends also what the other DPS is, because there's going to be a lot of Hanzo. It might be me or Hydration or Silk, and then whoever learns Brigitte more, or whoever David thinks should play Brigitte.
Some teams have been doing like their DPS players plays the Zarya, and then their off tank plays the Brigitte, just because like the playstyle of Brigitte is like closer to a off tank than
maybe Bichu.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, we'll see.
Bichu only played Brigitte in
DM, yeah, okay. But he was just trolling people. I don't know.
He's one of those.
Yeah. Everybody's only playing Brigitte in deathmatch right now.
Yeah. No, right now it's Hanzo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Hey there guys, Adam from Akshon Esports again. So with this stage we saw the competition close quite a bit between the Western teams and the Korean rosters. With such a dramatic shift to the meta coming up next stage, do you think that competition is going to get even closer, and what do you think the standings are going to look like next stage?
I think it's going to be all about which teams have people that learn fast and which coaches are able to like choose like the strategy the quickest. So I think Boston will still be good. I think New York will still be good. We'll probably get a good jump out of it because it'll be a new meta, and I think we have fast learners on our team. That's all I can comment on right now.
Sander from Overwatch League. Obviously that was a pretty one-sided series with the Uprising for the most part. What do you think what were they doing well in particular, and who really stood out during the series to you guys? And that's for anyone, whoever wants to answer.
Are you putting your scratching?
It was hard to say. I don't think anyone particularly stood out from them. They just played like really well as a team. I think they just like coordinated well and just played together really well.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Uprox here. I just had a question really as we progress through the season. Have you guys seen the amount of added attention from media, from fans, kind of celebrities and people that have, kind of influenced things this season? Just describe, you can kind of go around here on the team, how that impacts your play. You got like on a week-to-week, I guess the anticipation of the next stage for each of you guys.
Personally, I don't really think about it too much. I just focus on my game and just play the game. So I don't really take pressure from like outside factors or like third parties. I just focus on the game mostly.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly agree. I think it's awesome to get more fans and more attention. I don't think it really adds pressure as it does kind of motivate, possibly. Just because you realize like if you like input more effort, then more people will see the output in a more positive light. So I think it's good.
For me, I kind of got the feeling that Pine got during season 1, where people started paying more attention to my Widow. So I felt like in some matches there's a lot of pressure on me because like all eyes on me, and like whether I make mistakes or not, like or good shots, people are just going to be like looking at that. But it's happened a lot through my career in Overwatch, but I've learned to kind of just not focus on what other people or like casters or analysts or the public is saying about me, because no matter what you do, people are going to say good or bad things. So you just have to play your game and play around your team and just worry about whether you think you're doing well or not.
Fans always bring like motivation to my play personally. Like if I'm playing on stage and I hear like them chanting for us and stuff, like hypes me up and motivates me. So that kind of helps me a lot in a way, and having all the support is really great.
For me, it doesn't really affect me too much. Yeah, you just gotta focus on the game. What about hydration, man? He's pretty cool. But you know, at the end of the day, just gotta win.
All right, guys, thanks a lot for coming out and talking to the group here. I appreciate it, and good luck in stage 4.
Thank you.
Thank you.